Hey everyone, um, I'm back on YouTube. Thought I would hop back on, seeing as my headphones got fixed, which is what I'm using as a mic right now. And also, I've been writing a fuck ton recently about random shit, and I'm honestly not sure what the next step is in my kind of plan process in terms of writing, but I think my next writing video will probably be on music and how it shapes perspective because I've been getting a lot into music theory and just the whole idea of like all different types of music and how they play a role, a key role in everyone's life, right? This video is pretty similar to that. It's more so a concept on how a certain genre plays on a certain person's life. And could be me, could be projecting here, but honestly, I don't think so. I think it's a sort of everyone thing. Maybe that's just me grasping for straws, but I do think that I do think that music and certain genres tie in with like objects or topics of fascination for a lot of like cultures, people all over the world, you know what I mean? So, we're here talking about shoegaze and the moon. So, shoegaze, pretty popular genre that's been blowing up recently. Came out, I think it originated in Ireland, like UK, right? And as far as I'm aware, the point of shoegaze is that like the original bands who pioneered it were so focused on their shoe pedals for the fuzz that comes with shoegaze that they weren't really engaging with the audience and they were just kind of staring at their shoes. But now that is very interesting. It's very probably honestly the truth as to why shoegaze is the way it is and why it is called the way it is. But but I like to have different theories because I'm Mr. Special around here. Uh, anyway, shoegaze and the moon. Shoegaze and the moon. For one, the gaze lies entirely dependent on who's wearing the shoes, because the gaze can either be sad and depressing or super happy and hopeful. And now, what does that have to do with the moon exactly? It's pretty obvious. Okay, I want to bring up how that kind of hope you can gain from listening to shoegaze is not necessarily a joyful one. I must admit, it mostly stems from a hope for a better future. You know, shoegaze is kind of like that whole stereotype of like um, sad loners or whatever, or like people who are like supposed to be seen as sad in media are usually like staring eyes down, not really like engaging with people around them. Like, but, but I think a good thing about that is that sometimes you're hoping for a better future to come through that. And I mean, whether you're hoping for better money, employment, education, and even this last one, which I think is probably the most common amongst shoegaze listeners, is love, uh, which leads me to bringing up everyone's first love, or a lot of people's first love. I can definitely say it was first love. I'm totally getting rid of that in the fucking Final Cut. Fuck that. No, it's okay. I'll leave it in. And then a lot of people's first love, which is the moon. Uh, the moon holds so much power, and I mean, this can be seen in old folk tales and cultures from way back when, and how those cultures used to idolize the moon and try to come up with reasons why this glowing orb was in the sky, you know, giving them some sort of like fractured light into the night, you know. It was sort of safe. I mean, the moonlight. It was safe. in a time where if there was no light, predators could have killed us or some shit for sure. And luckily, the moonlight was able to give us just enough to see around us and see if shit was going down, you know? And I think that's probably one of the reasons why cultures like the Maori or the Aztecs decided to personify an object so like far away from us. I mean, it's sort of, a lot of people bring it down to like a person sort of controlling the minds of the people in the village with folk tales so as to ease their minds from like the reality that's a little bit much for them. And even I'm sure they didn't know the person who's controlling everyone's minds, that is. They were probably just guessing, and just like everyone decided, hey, you kind of sound right. And that's how we ended up with, you know, the moon becoming a rabbit. Sorry, a rabbit in Chinese culture, and how most moons are seen as people, or where spiritual beings come from. And I know because I've been playing Hades too, but in Greek mythology, there is Selene, the god of the moon, who rides a horse or some sort of flying horse. I think it's probably like a gazelle or some shit, but whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. The point is, right, is that a lot of people were so infatuated with this light coming from the sky that all the people who were logical brained and never really thought about it, when questioned with this idea that, hey guys, there's this really pretty rock in the sky, they were like, holy fucking shit, what is that? While all the people who initially were infatuated with it were most likely, I mean, it felt almost under the same receptors of dopamine that I'm sure like they would feel from love, you know? It's like there's a seductive undertone towards like the moonlight and the glows that it shines. It's sort of like a siren's call, you know? Like, I don't know, like an anti-holy light, you know? It kind of keeps all the bad stuff away. And yes, holy is bad. No one mentions why these people even brought up the moon to begin with, you know? They're mostly intrigued by its glow, its radiance, which I feel like when you're looking at something for that long and you're fantasizing about it, you're thinking about it, like, what is it? You're so confused, so intrigued, so prepared to learn more about this thing. It's sort of like an obsession, you know? It's like you want to get to know this person more and more, but yet they're so far away, and they feel so far away, rather. They might not be, but it might feel that way. And so I feel like when songs like A Love Song by A Flock of Seagulls comes on, it causes someone to wish for a love that they never had, or got to have, or couldn't have, or whatever. You know, it's sort of hoping once again. And so the moon and shoegaze, I feel like, are linked pretty inherently. At least they have the same tender touch when it comes to the discordant codes. I'm trying to use bigger words, guys. The discordant code. The discordant chords of My Bloody Valentine or Home Shake is the exact feeling that I felt when I first looked at the full moon. I mean, it was something so far, yet it felt so close. Like, it kind of felt like it was touching, you know, on an emotional level, of course. I don't know. I think it illuminates more than just the surroundings around you. It can illuminate your mind, I don't know, the way you feel. And to a degree, that, like, sort of obsession I had with the moon, and I feel like love for it was kind of helping me form ideas of how to love not only myself, but others. And, I mean, my eyes glisten, not because I'm looking at it, but because it's always looking back at you. You know, it's never with judgment or ridicule, but with an intense longing to reach you and to, I don't know, help you. Rays act like, I don't know, it acts like very substitutory. Yeah, it acts like a substitute for the vibrations of a shoegaze song. You know, uh, it takes off a little bit of the pressure. It's illuminating, and without pressure, it's looking at you, not just looking to analyze or see something within the in between the lines. It's simply gazing, gazing with a yearning, almost. Which is why shoegaze is definitely not what a lot of people are cut out for. I mean, love is very unique to a person, and I mean, something so far away can't feel so close that you can touch it if you can't imagine yourself gazing at that thing. So, gazing at the moon, gazing at your shoe, gazing at a person. Hmm. The male gaze, the female gaze, all that jazz. Which can be certainly, okay, just to kind of end things off, there's something certainly sad in a lot of situations. I mean, you can long for something unattainable, which is not the point of shoegaze, but is also a pretty large facet of it, the depressive version of gazing. Um, I mean, it's meant to show you that there's still something to look at, you know, to look forward to. Because, I mean, what would be the point of us being here if there wasn't something to gaze at, something to look forward to, something that is enough to keep you gazing, you know? Without things like shoegaze or the moon, how do we know to keep going if the world doesn't have a point? How do you give it one? That is something that you need to find out on your own, to be honest. I can't tell you. I feel like if you found shoegaze, or you have the same obsession for the moon that I once had, then this video should be what's stopping you, shouldn't be what's stopping you from finding that one more thing to look upon with the same veneration and revere that you would look upon with your partner, or money for some people, or even power. Like, shoegaze is more than just sad, depressing music. It's definitely hope.